I don't know. No, I mean, no, in the beginning when everything came out, no. I mean, there was things that happened, through the early stages of everything with mom coming out, and then just being introduced to a really a whole different world,
Sure.
and this dynamic of I'm 15 and now I have this other woman in my life that's trying to tell me what to do, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, I mean,
So there was anger throughout, but definitely in the beginning there was not. There was nothing but love.
yeah, at 15, introducing a step parent in any form would be challenging.
Yes.
Let
Yes.
alone, okay. All right, I'm going to throw it back to Paula now. It's like, Paula, what are your thoughts and what's your reaction to what Courtland just said?
First of all, that's my daughter. The day she owned it, that is totally my daughter. I was proud of her then, and I'm still proud of her for that. As far as the, like the shame and that kind of stuff, I knew she shared with me at the time that people were calling her dyke and things like that. And that, that makes the mama bear want to come out, ride the school bus and kick all their butts. But,
I'm a little surprised you didn't, but go ahead.
Well, but I raised her. She's cut from the same cloth. She ended up taking care of it herself, just like you what?
I handled it.
Yeah.
He got his.
She handled it. She didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. And it was an adjustment for Courtland. Mine and Terry's views on teenagers and what they should and shouldn't be doing in our home were different. And, because of that, it was hard for Courtland to adjust to that. At 15, she doesn't want the rules to change, and I get that. Now I think she understands why it kind of had to be that way because, Terry and I, we shared a home, we shared a relationship. We were the adults. And I think that was, in my opinion, I feel like that was probably one of the hardest things for Courtland to adjust to, is she had gone from having her mom drop, at the drop of a hat, I want to go to Walmart at 10 o'clock at night. Okay, let's go. To having a mom who, no, I don't want to go to Walmart. I'm tired and I'm happy and I want to be here with Terry. I you don't need to go to Walmart right now. We can do that tomorrow after school, or that was an adjustment, a big adjustment.
Got it. And just to loop in the audience, for those of you who don't know, which is everybody but the three of us, Terry is Paula's wife.
Yeah.
Current wife at the time, partner. So follow up on that, Paula, is that absolutely you guys were the adults and Courtland was the teenager. However, you had already asked her to deal with a whole lot of change, which is difficult for any teenager, any human being.
Right.
So, then asking her to deal with more change with different rules, for all intents and purposes, a step parent, must have been, that's just another layer to the story.
It is. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me to ask her to do it. And it wasn't easy to expect her to do it. It wasn't easy to follow through with it. There were days when it just downright sucked. And, I knew how I was feeling about it. And I could only imagine the anger and resentment and whatnot that Sis was feeling, which I didn't have to imagine it. She shared it pretty well.
All right.
I'm not one to keep it in too much.
Okay. Do you have anything to add to that, Courtland? Before our next question?
Yeah, no, I mean, that about sums it up. I mean, it was very difficult. I think in the beginning, it was very, and I think that's what my hardest thing was in the beginning, it was very honeymoon stage. And so with all three of us being involved, even, there was things that Terry did and let me do in the beginning that as soon as she moved in and things were going to be more permanent, and Mom and Terry, clearly this wasn't a phase, clearly Terry wasn't going to go anywhere soon, things changed, and that was just not, it was not easy to deal with
Okay,
at all.
fair enough. How did that get easier through your high school years, or did it take more time than that?
No. It took until me moving out and really kind of, I guess, growing up to really change things. I was a spitfire. I was a, drop of the hat. I'd get pissed. I'd throw up, anything. I would throw hands. I would anything. And
You're a teenager.
that was one thing. Yes. Yeah. And that was one thing, that I do, I feel sorry for, and I do regret. And there's things that I wish I could take back, but I can't. So all I can do now is move forward and try to make amends. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's fair. And it's like, as you got older and got out of the house and living with them, and more distance came, was put on it. And also it's like you gained some emotional maturity. Nobody's emotionally mature at 15. I mean, I'm, well over 15 and I'm still working on my emotional maturity. So,
right.
It's a tough time anyway, just in general. So,
yeah.
All right, so thank you. All right, Cortland, I got another question for you. So on the flip side of that, how has having a gay mom made you think differently about love, life, or the human experience?
Just it's taught me to be more accepting of all kinds. Whether I know that there's some issues that I have, not necessarily issues, but I see some people have a hard time with like transgender and things like that, and I just feel that with having my mom be gay, it's opened my eyes to be like, what, if it makes you happy, if you're not hurting me, if you're not hurting other people, do what makes you happy.
Right. I mean, kind of like what we talked about at the beginning of this, where it's like, it's one thing to think of that in theory.
Right.
And then now that you're confronted with it, that's a completely different thing. Because just knowing, and I don't know you, but I know your mom and, her family, and your grandparents. And, it's like, I would have no doubt that even prior to this conversation that you were pretty accepting of most people.
Yes. Yes, I was.
But then again, it's like, it's totally different to be confronted with that reality, and,
right.
And the reality is that it's like, you all of a sudden are living this experience, again, not of your choosing, where you're having to realize that all people aren't treated the same.
Right.
And that's, that's a hard reality at that age. And that's a hard reality at any age. I mean, I still have people in my life who love me, but don't believe that as a gay man, I'm treated differently.
And you are. All of anyone who's different than what the social norm is, which what is normal anymore, honestly, they're treated differently, and it's not okay. Right. It's not right. It's not.
So but it personalized it for you,
Yeah.
All of a sudden, again, it was like, you could have been the most open-minded 15-year-old in the world and loved every, kid in your high school, geek, nerd, whomever, but it's completely different now because this is back to reality.
Exactly. It's happening to me is what it is. It's happening to me.
Yeah. All right. I am going to stick with you, and I have one more question.
Okay.
Do you ever think about if your mom wasn't gay, or what it would have been like if your parents stayed together?
I really don't. I really don't. Like I said, for so long, I wanted my parents to be separated. And so I don't think about what it would be like, especially for my parents to still be together. And I don't think either that my mom being with a man or a woman would be any different than what it is. You know, I mean, her biggest thing is she's happy. She loves who she's with. And to me, that's all I see. I don't see male or female. I see that she's happy.
Did you at one time?
No. I mean, I've been pretty accepting of it from day one, just because, like I said, my biggest thing was I wanted my mom away from my dad. Now I didn't, in the beginning, there was a lot of, because like mom had said, you know, she wanted to spend that time with Terry and not me. There was a lot of anger towards her because of that.
That's got to be
because
tough.
I used to, yes, it was. Our relationship was really strained, and it's taken a while to get back to where it was. It's definitely not what it was, but it's where it needs to be for our age and our, you know, personalities now.
Okay. Thank you. That was incredibly honest. Now, before Paula, I ask you the next question, is there anything you want to say in response to that?
No, just that, like Cortland said, it wasn't the gender that she had a problem with in the beginning. It was the person.
With the attention?
I think it was the attention. It was the way the person presented things. You know, it didn't matter if it was a guy, a male or a female. It was the way things were presented and the lack of attention that Cortland felt she was getting.
Yeah, everybody was fighting for attention in their position. I mean,
right.
Well, you were trying to figure out a relationship, and for goodness sakes, Cortland was trying to figure it all out.
Right, exactly. It was very it was very difficult for all of us, you know, and there were many times when I felt so in the middle. You know, here I'm trapped, you know, between this woman that I truly love and my daughter, my flesh and blood, my baby, my only girl, you know, and you know, there were many times when I thought, you know, I just, maybe I should just not do this. Maybe, you know, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Maybe this isn't right. Yeah. But, you know, my heart, I just knew in my heart that she was the one, and there was going to be some rocky roads, and
sure.
And there certainly was. But, yeah. And I commend my daughter for the growth that she has had over the years. Her even maturity at the time exceeded what most 15-year-olds would have.
Yeah.
And she just continues to amaze me every day with her insight and her wisdom and her patience.
All right. Okay. And I suspect you felt like you're in the middle because you were.
Right.
And
exactly.
frankly, you put yourself in the middle. You created that situation where you were in the middle. But
I did.
But maybe
I totally did.
Another episode. So Paula, we've got 2 questions left, and I just want to get to those. So Paula, as you look back on this experience and this phase of your relationship with your daughter, what surprised you about it?
How accepting she was that I came out. I think that was the biggest surprise. I didn't, I knew, like she said, she used to beg me, literally beg me to leave her dad. Why do you keep putting yourself through this? You know, you deserve to be happy. Why are you doing this? Get rid of, you know, you need to move on. So that part, you know, the fact that she was like, okay, finally, it's about time you left him. That didn't surprise me, but how accepting she was. And, you know, when I shared, you know, my story with her that I had felt this way since I was in 3rd grade but wanted to be a mom first and foremost, she just opened her heart and opened her mind and her arms and just let me continue to be your mom.
So is it fair to say it didn't surprise you that she got there, it surprised you how fast she got there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It surprised me that it was It was almost instantaneous. Almost instantaneous.
All right. Cortland, the same question to you. As you look back on this experience, on this phase of the relationship with your mom, what surprised you about this time frame? I mean, you had a lot of surprises, frankly. But...
Yeah. Just that she was able to, I mean, I get the earning and wanting to be a mom. I've struggled with infertility for many years now. And so I know exactly what she means when she says she wanted nothing but to be a mom. So it was really surprising because, you know, I figured, why wouldn't she, like anyone nowadays, go ahead and be who she is and just do do IVF or do IUI or do something along those lines. But back then it wasn't as common as it is now. So I get it. I wasn't really surprised by any of it, I guess. Just because when the way she explained it and the way that she came out about it, you know, saying that she has felt this way forever, I was like, good. It's time to be you. You're leaving Dad, and it's your turn. You get to be you.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it's virtually, no matter how close you guys were, and it is virtually impossible to be totally close and have an authentic relationship when one person is keeping a lie and keeping a secret. That's just
right.
I mean, you know, again, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm a psychologist or anything. I'm just like, no. It's just true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
You know, so, okay, well, that was a great answer. So we're going to go to the final question. And then I want to make a couple comments and I'm going to wrap it up. All right.
Okay.
So final question. So Paula, I think you know what's coming.
I do.
If this was your last conversation with Cortland, what would you say?
Thank you for helping me to grow to be a better person. Your unconditional love of me has pulled me through so many different things. I'm proud of you. Don't ever forget that you are strong enough, you are brave enough, and you are good enough. You're beautiful, you're amazing. You have a heart of gold. I've loved you from before the first time I saw you. And I will love you until till time ends. You have been my best friend and my daughter all rolled up into one. And I'm lucky that I have you. I love you, sis.
I love you too.
All right. Cortland, I know this is a tough question. Same question to you. This is the last conversation with your mom. What would you want to say?
That's a hard one because I don't want to think about that. But thank you for going through everything that we've gone through together, from heartaches to heartbreaks to all of it. Thank you for accepting me. I know I'm not perfect by any means, and thank you for letting me, you know, make amends and right my wrongs with, you know, your relationship and everything. I couldn't imagine my life without you. You truly are my best friend. You always have been. And I honestly could not have asked for a better mom. We've had our ups and downs just like any mother and daughter does. but I think those have made us stronger. And I can't wait to see where this life continues to take us. And I love you.